Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan, and this is the KingCast, the live podcast where we cover all things Bethesda. How is everyone today? We're going to talk Starfield mainly, but we will cover some Bethesda news. So everybody come on in and get comfy, and we will talk some Bethesda. Good to see you, Matt. Unexpected outcome, Alpha Andy. Chucky, good to see y'all. How is everybody today? I am doing well. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me and see me good. I hope everything is going well. I think I'm going to jump right into Starfield because I've got Starfield on the brain. We'll talk Bethesda news. We'll hold on to some Bethesda news toward the end. Coming across loud and clear. Great. We did get an announcement at the awards show about a Marvel game. We'll be talking about that later. And some Fallout TV show news and some Fallout 76 news, but we'll save that. Phil Spencer said in an interview just recently that 12 million players have now played Starfield and that he wants Starfield to last 12 years, just like Skyrim. However, as y'all know, a lot of people are jumping off of Starfield already. I know there's some diehards, but there's a lot of people that are jumping off Starfield. I'm going to make the case today that Starfield has more to offer than you think. Now, if you've already jumped off, don't think I'm just defending it. I just want y'all to give it a listen and see what you think. Because I believe all of Bethesda was telling us this even before the game released, that this is a different type of game. It is to be played different. And I have learned that. I have learned you have to take it different. And there's some things, some tips I'm going to give you today going through that will help you if you want to get back into it, that will help you find some new things as well as we're going through. I actually want to start with an interview that Anand Zur did. You may know him. He's the composer that Bethesda uses. He did the Starfield music. And he was talking about, jumped off. Hey, Dale, what's going on? He was talking about Starfield, and he was talking about how different Starfield is. Now, this was before the game came out, and he was warning everybody, telling everybody. But listen to what he said. And again, I don't think anybody was listening. He said, don't treat Starfield the same as other games. Don't treat it as something that you need to start and finish. Imagine a world that you live in right now. It's where you go, you escape, where you build your home, where you create friends, enemies, relationships. This is the right way to treat Starfield as opposed to a movie that you watch from the beginning to the end. It is a very different approach in order to maximize what Starfield has to offer. I'm telling you, these guys at Bethesda who played it over and over and over realized that it was a different game and you had to come at it different. Let me give you some other quotes. Todd Howard said, the more you give Starfield, the more Starfield will give to you. Pete Hines said, the game doesn't really get started until you beat the main story. So, I mean, they were all, in a way, I believe, trying to tell us little things about this game, that it was different. We were told from the very beginning that it went back to being an RPG, and I think we need to be reminded what an RPG is. It's a role-playing game. Bethesda games had gotten very linear, very non-role-playing games where there wasn't much choice, there wasn't much sandbox to it. So I'm going to be going back to that RPG in just a little bit and explaining what I mean by that. But Starfield really leans into the RPG. Fallout 76 leans into the RPG. Hey, Renrut, what's going on? Unexpected Outcome says 700 hours in. Wow. I thought my 400 hours was a lot. Still playing. The problem isn't the game. The problem is the demographic of the player. I think older, more seasoned players appreciate the game a lot more. I found that in Fallout 76 as well. Hey, Jeremy, what's going on? 10 years between games, indeed. Okay, let me give you some positives about Starfield and some tips about how you can maximize your play, or maybe how you can get some more out of Starfield. Number one, and I think everybody probably experienced this. Starfield has great quest lines as compared to other Bethesda games. It had great writing. It had a very good main story, but it also had one of the very best faction quest lines of any Bethesda game. And I still say that. The Vanguard, if you haven't played the Vanguard yet in Starfield, I still believe it is one of the best faction quest lines in any Bethesda game. It's worth playing several times through. Hey, Slacker, what's going on? So the writing in Starfield is great. That's a very, very good positive. Another positive, and this is something that I don't think people are taking advantage of. In fact, they're just now starting to write articles on it after they're being rude about the game. The new game plus is amazing in this game. I mean, it will blow your mind. The new game plus will really blow your mind. I don't want to spoil anything. I mean, these spoilers are already out there. I'm just going to give you some light spoilers if that's okay. There are 10 alternate universes you can go into in the new game plus. It's amazing. It gives you changes to the world of Constellation and the Starborn. 10 different, at least 10 different. There's a percentage of chance you might get these 10 different ones. Now, sometimes you'll get the same, okay? This also sets up great for DLC. I've been saying they're going to bring us a DLC that's a whole new alternate universe. It's probably going to be Shattered Space, and then y'all can tell me I called it. But if it's not Shattered Space, it will be one of the DLCs. There's going to be an alternate universe that's going to be one of the DLCs. But the new game plus is great. You need to play it multiple times. It's fantastic because it has little changes throughout. You'll be going along and think everything's the same, and then all of a sudden a change will pop up, and it's neat. Okay, let's talk about the RPG just a little bit. Again, people have forgotten what it means, what an RPG means. A role-playing game. That means it's a sandbox. You can go anywhere, do anything. And this game is meant for that. The ship building, the settlement building, all that is more into the game. And Todd Howard said all this is more into the game. It's meant for after you do the main story, in other words. And I have spent hours on the ship building, and I have just started on the settlement building. Because the settlement building, you get into the settlement building, you get into resource management, linking settlements to other settlements. You can actually raise animals and crops. I mean, you can do all kinds of things that are just wild. Again, RPG, role playing. And you can go through the new game plus, by the way, and play a different, you can say, I'm going to be a bad guy this time through. And it doesn't just mean you have to go do the Crimson Fleet. Get your pickpocket skills up. Marry somebody different, like I'm doing this time. I'm trying to get with two. I've told y'all that. Y'all ratted me out to my wife. not only the settlement management, but the houses that you can get and decorate, the crafting, all of that is more toward the end of the game. Now, the tips on exploring. This is what I've just learned, and this may help you a little bit. Hey, Kane, what's going on? Again, I'm 400 hours in, and I'm just finding new stuff. Number one, there are perks that will open up new things in the game. One perk is the scanning perk. You definitely want to upgrade your scanning perk, because one thing it will do, it will show up ships, different ships in outer space, ships that you'll never know that are there. Uh, you know, uh, most of the time, those random encounters will have to almost run into you, or you'll have to run into them to engage them. Well, when you have the scanning perk, as soon as you go in and scan the first planet in a system, that those ships will show up in that system, so you can go to that, and it is really cool. I've run into all kinds of things in space. uh, there's also a scanning perk on the land that will do the same thing. Now, talking about the land, this is crazy. Most of y'all know this. The planets that have the three dots, that means there is handcrafted stuff on that planet. And I believe there's like 82, I'm throwing this number out of memory, but I believe there's 82 handcrafted things that Bethesda has put on these 100 planets, or on the 100 systems. I believe that's right. Yes. So you look for the three dots, or there's also the thing that kind of looks like a, I don't know, a little teepee thing without the point. That means there's a city. Y'all, I'm trying to think while I'm talking here. So be sure and look for those. But now this is the key. This is where I'm running into the new stuff. This is what I figured out. The stuff that you just randomly come up on, the stuff that is procedurally generated, they have made 150 different randomly generated things to put out in the world. Have you ever noticed how you run into the same 4 or 5 most of the time? That's because those are the most common. They are put on a percentage. So, in other words, there's a 10% chance you get this one, there's a 90% chance you get this one. That's why you run into that stupid one you see all the time. I don't know why they did it that way, but again, there are bases out there. I'm 400 hours in. Out of that 150, I probably haven't done half of them. I haven't found half of those. I'm just now realizing the number that there's 150 of those things. I was telling Kane the other day that I ran into one of those that had a whole storyline and everything with it. It was a procedurally generated one. It wasn't one of the handcrafted ones. It was a procedurally generated one, so it can show up on any planet. But it was one of the very rare ones. And man, it was a good one. I don't want to spoil it for you at all. It was a good one. I saw somebody else had a video on it on Twitter. It's almost its own horror game. It is fantastic. But uh, one thing you can do to run into these more, yeah, the three dots indicate that it's a handcrafted set location that does not move. It's not uh, procedurally generated. It's there. It's always there. You're correct, Kane. Also, the little, like I said, the little teepee thing is a city, so it's always there. Everything else is randomly generated. Now, every time you jump your ship, it's going to regenerate. Okay. Uh, so I also learned that instead of just continuing to run and explore the way we normally do on a Bethesda game, you really want to jump your ship quite a lot while you're looking on a planet. Uh, I've gotten to where I've really enjoy surveying planets. Y'all can call me a geek, but that's another thing that most of us don't do is survey fully planets. But to do that, you have to start jumping from one biome to another to make sure you have all the animals and all the plants and all that. When I did that, that's when I started realizing that, hey, it is regenerating these bases, and each time I jump, it's going to regenerate them, and it gives you a chance to have the rare stuff by you. So, uh, if you walk up on one and it's one you've seen before, don't go in it. Go right past it. That's the way you do it, and you go until you find one that you haven't explored before. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot that you've done. That's the way. Again, Todd Howard he said it right there in that long presentation. You explore different in Starfield. Bethesda's really good at not explaining things. Kane says the procedural content does have variations within the same location, but those can be found everywhere. Correct. Yeah, on every planet. Absolutely. So, play with your exploring. I promise you, you haven't even touched the procedural generation content. I don't care how many hours you haven't touched it. There is so much. Unless you've gone into 150 different procedural generated places, and I know I've gone into the same 500 times, which I'm not going to do anymore because I've learned not to do that. So again, you just have to learn these things. I've learned how to, and that's another thing I was going to tell you. As you're progressing in the game, instead of jumping from one star system to another star system, this is another thing somebody needs to tell somebody. You need to explore the one system that you're in, because they're based on levels. And I know y'all have noticed this. Now you're in level 30 or you're in a level 20, and there may be 3 or 4 level 20s before you jump up to level 25 or whatever it is. But within that one system, maybe one, maybe two, maybe three handcrafted places, but it's also going to have some wonderful other things that you can find. So take some time and explore that one system before you just jump to another system. Uh, Most of the time, we do our one little quest and we jump from that system and we don't ever go back to that system. And it's such a shame. Starfield is so rich if we just slow down, and that's what he was saying. He was saying don't do it just to get through it. He says slow down. And that's what I was always saying with Fallout 76. You've got to slow down. Kane, absolutely. Lore can be found in every solar system. Slow down. I have to make myself slow down and explore one solar system at a time, and it is so much fun. um my character now is level 125, and I am going to start back over because it's not much fun for my level 125 character to go back to the level 1 solar systems and start exploring, which I skipped those. I just skipped right over them because I was doing all the quests. So yes, Bethesda. I mean, but that's one fun thing about Bethesda is that they don't tell you how to do this. You do learn it on your own, and it does give YouTubers a great lot of business because they get to tell people how to do these things. But it was like I was telling y'all in a video not long ago. when this stuff opened up to me, it was just like, oh, space opened up, and it was like, now I can find stuff in space. And then the whole solar system opened up, and then the planets opened up. I know what things to go in now. I know what things to pass up. It's really good. Hey, Thomas, what's going on? Kane says, to be fair, Bethesda did tell us to do the main story right away. Yeah, Pete said that. And again, those quotes, every person told us that Starfield is different. Starfield is different. And that's why I started with Anon Zur's interview. He says, don't treat Starfield the same as you do other video games. Todd Howard says Starfield is going to give you what you give Starfield. It's crazy. So I fully understand the negativity that Starfield's getting. I do, because it takes a lot of work to get to understanding. I mean, it took me a lot of work to get to where I was good just at the basics of Starfield. So I can understand, as uh, uh, somebody was saying up there, the younger generation might not have the patience to do it. I can understand that absolutely, because, like I said, I've put a lot of time in before I've learned a lot of this stuff. I mean, 400 hours in, I'm like, oh, but should they have made it a little easier and some of these things a little more accessible? Probably, yeah. I would say probably. Uh, that you could just call that game design. But again, it's different, and they did warn us. Hey, Jeff, what's going on? Jeff says it'd be nice if they upscaled the systems to accommodate the higher levels you're on later in the game to keep it a challenge back in Soul or Alpha Centauri. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I hate going back to level ones and level 10s and level 20s. I do. That's why I really want to uh, you know, some of the they could do a update kind of like they did for Fallout 76. What was that update called? Where they upscaled all the enemies and everything. That was a really good update. But that would be a good update for Starfield as well. That's a very good idea. And that might be one of their updates later on. That is a awesome idea. Y'all tell me what you think about the brief thing I said about Starfield. Am I being overly defensive? One Appalachia. Was that it? Yeah, I think that was it. Y'all tell me what you think. Am I being overly defensive, or am I on to something with Starfield here? I do think Starfield's a totally different type game, and I think a lot of people are not getting it. Now, but again, I'm not saying that's their fault. It may be Bethesda's fault in game design, but the content is there. That's what I'm saying. The content is there. You just have to know how to find it. You just have to know how to find it. Kane says, my biggest issue is that there is no consequence for anything, and you absolutely cannot play as an evil character. I haven't tried, Kane. I haven't tried to do a total evil character. I do understand that. I've heard that from other folks, but I haven't tried it yet. Jeff says procedural upscaling built in. Basically, it upscales on the fly as you progress to keep up with your progress. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Um, Absolutely, 100%. Well, y'all let me know. What do you think? Am I on to something, or am I just being a Bethesda shield? Again, I'm not saying it's a good thing. It may be faulty game design, but the content is in there. In fact, there is as much content in it. There is more content in it than there was in Skyrim. So I mean, it's in there. It's just finding it is harder. Uh, People griping about the loading screens, but the loading screens are so fast in this game, and there's so many ways to skip the loading screens. I have learned so many ways you can skip so many loading screens. So I'm a total shield. Thank you. Thank you, Kane. I know you're kidding. Thank you. I wonder if Pete Hines retired just so he didn't have to defend Starfield anymore because he knew what was coming. Because again, they all were saying this before it came out, but again, they had already played it for hundreds of hours. So they knew what kind of a game it was. They knew it was different. To be honest, again, I am 400 hours in, and unexpected outcome. If you're still on, I would like to know what is left. That you said you're 700 hours in. What have you not done in the game? I've yet to do much in my settlement building. I'm just getting into settlement building. It takes a long time to get your player leveled up perk wise to where you can do the settlement building and crafting the way you should. I've just been doing shipbuilding lately. I got all that maxed out so I could do that good. Yes, I do have the Mantis ship and gear. Yes, that's a really cool quest to go on. Unexpected outcome says, for what it's worth, I agree with you. I keep finding new aspects of the game all the time, and I haven't gotten bored with it. And frankly, I don't want to play anything else. And that's 700 hours in. There you go. Again, the more I play, the more things keep opening up to me. Each time I think, okay, I've about done it all, it's like, nope. Over here, I haven't done this yet. I've still got this left to do. Right now, I'm doing the Ryujin quest line. I've not done the Ryujin quest line yet. That's one quest line I haven't gone through. So I'm doing it. I haven't done much on settlement building. Like I said, I've just done the very basics. I want to get into animal building and linking my settlements between each other. So I really want to get into that a little bit more. That's the next thing I really want to do. And then I haven't even tried like pickpocketing and some of that kind of stuff. I haven't even tried it. Manipulation, where I haven't even tried some of that stuff. Initially, I dabbled with everything, but wasn't good at any of it. And now I've gone back to the Freestar Rangers and other things that I never touched. Great. Let's see. Slacker said my work schedule has me at level 35. That's all right. That's all right. That's the beautiful thing about Starfield. Phil Spencer says he wants you playing it for 12 years, so it don't matter how long it takes you. It's going to take them 8 years to build another game anyway, right? Jeff says, funny, in other Bethesda games, I'm really into settlement building, but it's such a slog in Starfield. I'm surprisingly avoided that. It is different. It is very different. Yes. That's why I want to get used to it. I want to get it down. I want to learn it to see why I hate it. I think I hate it because it's different, Jeff. But yes, I agree with you 100%. I was so excited. And then I was so excited for it. And then, yeah, that's what's kept me from it. It's hard. Or maybe I'm just slow. But I agree with you 100%. It's a slog. I like that. It's an absolute slog. But I've seen others that were raising animals at their settlement. Man, that looks so cool. I've got to try that. So much work finding all the resources, like No Man's Sky, lots to get and manage. Absolutely. Unexpected Outcome says, I think that every time we pass through Unity, we should acquire new ship materials and building materials. I think this would help incentivize players to stick with it. I've learned that there's three main things you need. You need aluminum, you need iron, and you need what's that other one? Tungsten. Those are the three main things you need to start with outposts. And most of those you can get in any of the cities. So yeah. But I always build my cargo deck on my ship big, and I just play for a day or two, and then I've got my resources good, so I can build once after I've jumped through the Unity. Kane says, I would love for Bethesda to remove the silly limitation of only being able to have 10 ships and 8 outposts. No reason to limit those in a single player game. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is not multiplayer game. Remember, with outposts, you need a ton of building materials. You absolutely do, 100%. Absolutely. You absolutely do. Again, those three are the main ones you start out with: iron, aluminum, and tungsten. Those are the ones you have to get. Has anybody done the houses? There's a house in each of the cities that you can get. There's also a house. Oh, where's the house? Um, where is it? I just saw it yesterday. It's like in an odd place on a quest line. It may have been Ryujin. I don't know. But anyway, there's I guess that would be the neon house, wouldn't it? So there's a house in each of the cities. I've gotten the house in New Atlantis every time, and I bought the house once in Aquila, but decorating them I haven't. But now I'm going to that I'm getting into settlement building. See, again, there's so much to do. There is so much to do. But that's why I go back to the RPG. You've got to play it. You've got to play it slow as an RPG instead of fast to get through it. If you're going to play it fast to get through it, then it's not the game for you. You did purchase Everplayer Home. Uh, what's the one in Neon? Is it Renugen Home? No. Okay. Well, I saw one somewhere, and I wished I could remember. I am blank as I could be. It'll come to me. All I've got is Renugen and Hopetown in my head, and it wasn't either of those places, but it was a place like that. It was some odd place. Yeah, there's two in Aquila. The one is the historic place, right? Ocean View Settlements. Hey, Dova, what's going on? That's all right. You're here now. You missed all the good stuff. You missed all the good stuff. I was saying all what's good with Starfield and giving all kinds of tips, and you missed it. You missed it, but that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. No, we were just talking about that Starfield has a lot more. I think uh, there's so much to do. I was saying I'm 400 hours into Starfield and still it all, still haven't seen it all. There are so many creatures that I haven't seen. There's so many places I haven't been to. So many of the 150 uh, places, the points of interest that I haven't come across yet. Hey, Cliff, what's going on? But I have learned now how to explore buildings not to go into and waste my time on. Don't waste your time in going into the buildings that you've been in 100 times. Those are the ones that randomly generate, that are the most common. You see them all the time. The listening post, or the mine, those that you've been in 100 times. It's like, no, not again. I've seen this place 100 times. I could do it with my eyes closed. Yeah, don't do it. I really think that's why, I think that's the main reason that people are upset with Starfield, is the repetitiveness of those points of interest on planets. But there's 150 different places. The problem is they need to make it where some of those spawn more, that they're not as rare. Because again, most of the time you run into the same ones, which makes it feel like there's nothing to do. Makes it feel like it's just the same stuff. And a lot of stuff have just abandoned the game, only running into 4 or 5 of the same places. I wished I could tell you about that one place. I really don't want to spoil it with y'all, but I want to know if y'all run into this one. I know some of you have. It was wild. Dova says, "Yeah, I wish the interiors could at least be randomized. If they can't do that, like you say, repeatedly the same ones." Again, there is 150 different points of interest, different buildings that randomly generate on planets. The problem is that most of them are very rare. They don't spawn often, so people don't run into them. So we run into the same 10. So we think there's only 10. Does that make sense? Most people that's played, because you look at most of the players that have put negative comments on Steam and have left, have probably played 100 hours or less. Then you would guess they probably run into 5 to 10 of those buildings, 10 or less. And it's the ones that you run into all the time. It's just such a shame. There is so much in space, there's so much out in the world that they haven't seen. That's the problem. And are you sure those 150s include space? Now, I'm not sure about that, Kane. It may be, but I'm not sure about that. Uh, okay. But the space, again, the space is another one. If I would have not leveled up that stupid perk, I would have not run into those either. I was running into the same ones. That's another thing. In space, you keep running into the same ones. You run into the guy wanting to sell you insurance over and over and over. You run into the teacher with the school kids. I mean, you run into the same ones. Those are the common ones. But once you turn on your scanner, you start finding the rare ones. And I mean, the rare ones are so much cooler. So get the scanner skill. Now, not the hand scanner skill. That's not the one I'm talking about. It's called scanning. It's the skill called scanning. You want to rank the scanning up. Uh, yeah, the scanner skill is the one that you will want to rank up to for. I'm the hand scanner. They do something on the ground. I'm not sure about that, but the scanner is the one that does the space one. So definitely invest in the scanning skill. Then you will start finding all kinds of points of interest in space that you never saw before. Again, all you have to do is scan one planet in space, and then these ships start showing up on your map, and you run into the rare ones. And I haven't run into a I still run into the insurance guy and all that, just running into them. But the ones I scan, I haven't run into the same one yet. They're all rare ones. So that's been so refreshing and so cool. So all I've done, hey Timmer, what's going on? All I've been doing lately is surveying planets, skipping over the buildings that I've already searched, and going to the next building and seeing if it's a different building. If not, again, I take my ship and just hop. And by the way, you don't have to get you don't have to go back to your ship. You can ship hop from just standing on the ground. All you got to do is just go into your map and say I want to go here, and you'll be instantly standing somewhere else on the ground. So you save about 4 loading screens that way, and then everything redoes, and it'll put things close to you again. Surveying, okay. Yeah, there is a scanning and a surveying. There's two. So thank you. I feel like fast traveling can also have you miss out on things as well. That's what I was saying, Dova. Most Bethesda games, we've always had it ingrained into us that we've got to walk everywhere, and this is how we explore. Starfield is totally different. Starfield is all about your scanner. You got to scan everything. And again, once you pick up on where these buildings are, go to the buildings. If they're a building you've been to before, go right on past it. But once you've checked the buildings that are in your area, don't just keep walking around the planet. That's when you do need to fast travel. You do need to hop. It will regenerate for you. So fast traveling is actually a good thing on this. Uh, yeah, Starfield makes you fast travel. So it's totally different. It is absolute different type game. And Todd said that it's totally different type game. Anonzer said, treat this game different. Treat this game different. They screamed it before it came out. Nobody listened. So I guess I understand why Bethesda is answering people in the comments in Steam, the hateful comments. It's not a good look, don't get me wrong. But they're trying to get people to see that the content is in the game. It's just a different type game. Um, an article just came out, and I don't know how this guy didn't know it, but an article just came out that said after playing New Game Plus for 34 times, this guy found out something. I think he came in and it was himself in there or something. I mean, it was one of the alternate universes. and it just blew the whoever this was writing the article away. It was like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. Well, we knew there was alternate universes. I mean, we knew there was different stuff in there. I've already told y'all tonight that there's at least 10, and there's changes to Constellation and the Starborn, and it sets up perfect for future DLC. But they're just now seeing it and going, wow, this is the greatest thing ever. And these were people that were writing hate articles about them just a week ago. So, it's funny. It's funny. Dova says, I like that they're answering people. If people can't see the difference by now and still complain, there's no helping them. No, there's not. There's not. Again, and I'll say this, and I really want y'all's opinion. It's probably a little bit of both. And this way I will not, and I'm not just sitting on the fence, okay? Is it bad game design or is it just people griping? And I think it's a little bit of both, okay? Because I do like that Bethesda puts things in the game and doesn't explain it. They've always done it that way. That's just Bethesda's way. But could they have designed it where things were a little bit easier to find, where they weren't so hidden? I think the only problem, the only criticism that I have is, or the main criticism, I'll put it that way, is that yes, you do come up with those same 5 to 10 buildings on every planet, and it appears that there's either nothing to do or the same thing to do. But see, now you know. Now you know. And again, this is what Bethesda was trying to tell them, that no, there's 150 things to do. Just keep looking. There's a lot of things to do and a lot of things to find. And I can't wait to find all of them. Because the rare ones, the more rare they are, the more work they put into them and the better they are. Just like those ships in space, the rare ones are amazing. Well, when you find a rare building, some of the buildings are not very good. Those are the ones that come up all the time. The ones that are, the rarer they are, the better they are. So, and that's another bad thing. Maybe that's bad game design, because again, the ones you run in the most are the worst. So, I don't know. What do y'all think about that? With all that said, let's move on to a little bit of Bethesda news. We could talk about Starfield all night, but Blade was announced at the Game Awards. Are y'all interested in Blade at all? Did that excite y'all at all? This is coming from Arcane Studio Lyon. Did I say that right? Lyon. It was not announced whether it was going to be a exclusive or not, but I guarantee you it will be an exclusive. That will be a KingFanMan guarantee. Let's see. Let me read y'all because y'all are still talking Starfield. Kane says, I think that many of the people that are complaining have good reason to complain. At the same time, I think most of them are being nitpicky. You're sitting on the fence too. Unexpected outcome says, I think Starfield has a more niche appeal. Yep, I agree. The problem is that players want remakes of their favorite games and are not prepared for Bethesda to change its formula. Fallout 76, I saw this was 76. 76, when it came out, it was a great game. And it was hard. It was a hard Fallout to learn and to do, but it was a great sandbox. As far as RPGs go, it was great. And I guess you could say it was still great. It don't have content right now, but as a sandbox, it's great. But all people did was great. All they did was gripe. Now, did Bethesda do wrong things? Yes, of course they did. I'm not going to defend some of the decisions, some of the things that they did. But, you know, Jeremy says, if you're going to expect a game to last 10 years, you need to hide stuff. That's great. They hit it well, Jeremy. Oh, me. Oh, you can't get it played in 100 hours if you're going to play it for 10 years. Oh. Dova says, yes, he's excited, but he hopes it's not like some of the recent Marvel games. Yeah, I like Arcane Studios. I like they are the makers of, I think Leon was the one that made didn't they make Deathloop? I'm pretty sure they were the ones that made Deathloop. They are the French Arcane. Anyway, Deathloop was highly rated. It was a really good game for what it was. Now I like Prey a lot better, but y'all know how much I like Prey. But it was a very good game. Yes, thank you. That's a great segue, Dale. Deathloop is free right now on Amazon Gaming for download. So you can download Deathloop for free right now. Absolutely. I also think it's on Game Pass too as well. But yes, if you want Deathloop for free and you've never played it, it's on Amazon Gaming right now. Newcomb says Atlantic City is incredible. My one gripe is that second expedition is really cool. They put a lot of work into that place. That is the prettiest place that 76 has ever made, in my opinion. It has a very BioShock feel. It's got the aquariums all in it. It's gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous. But you are timed going through it. You have no time to appreciate that place. Hopefully, we'll get to explore some of that during part 2. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Your casino is full already? Wow. Another thing I wanted to mention, and I'm going to be releasing a video on this tomorrow, but as y'all know, Atlantic City is in 2 parts. The first part is the expedition. The second part is a more explorable area. It also has events and quests in it. So I'm looking more forward to the second part. That should come the first part of next year. I have a video coming out tomorrow. Yes, it is a mini map. However, I don't think we can build there or anything like that. But thank you, Unexpected Outcome. Awesome. Yay. I love it. Thank you for the super sticker. Oh, that's a game controller. I love that. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Yeah, we've got to wait until March, but yeah. But I am excited. We're getting some content that's not an expedition, it's not a daily op, and it's not just an event. So I'm thankful they're at least listening to us a little bit. I don't know why, and I don't want to give my whole video, but I don't know why, guys, and y'all tell me quickly. I don't know why they're not leaning into doing something that is related to the TV show. Why? Wouldn't that be so good for Fallout 76 if they did something that, I mean, I know they've given out the Vault 33 suit, but can you imagine, just imagine if we went on an expedition, an explorable expedition. Think about if we had a Dova, think if we had a new map in Los Angeles. Think about if we went to Los Angeles. Think that call it the Boneyard, and we could build a settlement there, and there was quests there. Wouldn't that be awesome? And it came out right after the TV show. Maybe they're listening to me right now, and they're going to start making it, and it'll come out this summer. So right after the TV show's a hit, we can have the Boneyard in Fallout 76. What do y'all think? I hope so. I mean, and that would be smart. That would be smart. I'm not saying put it out now, but boy, you'd think if they have something, they are keeping it a secret. They are doing a good job. Dova said that'd get more people into the game. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Do y'all remember what happened to The Witcher? When the Witcher TV show came out, Witcher 3, the sales of Witcher 3 went through the roof, and it had been out for a long time. So, yeah. Newcomb says, King, haven't you heard of Fallout 3? 33 jumpsuit. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. They gave us a vault suit. Woo! Yeah, I just think that's, we had a Fallout anniversary. We had the 5th year anniversary of Fallout 76, and we got a birthday suit. And then this TV show's coming out. I just think they need to be doing more. Y'all know me. I've always been positive, and now I've turned into just all negative Nelly. Y'all gonna have to whoop me and get me back into positive. I need to turn back positive, guys. Oh. I am super excited though for the TV show. I loved. Yeah, you're gonna have to whoop me on the head. I loved the way the TV show looked. I was super excited for the look of the TV show. Everything about it was great. I think it's going to turn out and be really good. I think that's going to do great things for the Fallout series. If we could get 3 or 4 years out of the TV show, man, that'd be great. Wouldn't that be great? There's going to be all kinds of Easter eggs from all of the games. And they're working on a Fallout 3 remaster, remake of some kind. Man. Newcomb says, hey, it ties into the show. Can't say they didn't give us nothing. That's true. You're right. They gave us something. They sure did. But yes, I couldn't be more excited for the TV show. I am. And y'all will be glad to know I have gotten back into 76 after I said on that video I haven't played and wasn't going to play. I streamed the other day. I went to Atlantic City. I enjoyed it, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to stream again next week. I haven't decided if I'm going to stream 76 or Starfield, but I'm going to be playing 76 a lot more now because I enjoyed it. It felt like home. It was home. I just wish they would add more content. That's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. Then there's people that like to complain it's only a jumpsuit that's added. That was me. That was me, Nova. That was me. That was me. Well, guys, I had a short list tonight. I know I normally go for an hour, but I've only going to go for 30 minutes tonight. So we're going to wrap it up here in just a minute. Right now, I'll turn it over to y'all. If y'all got any questions for me, any comments, y'all fly them at me before the show ends and let me know. Well, it looks like the show has been going an hour. Dead gum. Never mind. We did go an hour. Never mind. Same thing, though. Y'all give me your questions because we're about to wrap up. I knew it felt like it was time to wrap up. I thought it was 30 minutes ago. Y'all got any questions for me? If not, I'm going to go eat supper and rest. No, Fallout 3 has not been officially announced. It was officially leaked. We normally don't talk about leaks, but this one was officially leaked in a court of law. It was during the court case that Microsoft was having. It was on that list with Oblivion. Yep. So we know it's real. We know it's definitely on their radar, and that they now it is after Oblivion. Oblivion is scheduled to be coming soon, like this next year. But Fallout 3 is still at least a couple of years away. So yeah, if they're working on it. Oblivion Creations. What do y'all think? Are we going to get that Fallout 4 this year? I don't think we're going to get it this year. Please give us a New Vegas remake. Boy, wouldn't that be great? Oh, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Man, I would love that too much. I would love that too much. Well, guys, I cannot thank you enough for being here on the live stream with the King. Y'all have been awesome. Please hit that like button before you go. Unexpected outcome. Thanks again for the super chat. That was awesome. That's how I make it in YouTube. Y'all are wonderful to support me. But thank y'all for being here. Y'all are amazing. I will see y'all next time. Have a great rest of your weekend. God bless you. Bye, guys.